And this one is actually the 2.5 edition because it is making some small improvements on the second edition that was already previously released. This one is also my own personal pick of the week because the gameplay on this one is really streamlined and a lot of fun. And even though the game looks like quite a lot and there's quite a lot of content that you can add to this game and it does take up a lot of table space, the game is actually pretty easy to learn and play, and these new changes actually make that even easier. That being said, the game still offers quite a lot of depth and variability from game to game. This new version makes some small changes to the rules, the iconography, and even the components in order to create a more streamlined experience. The expansion rulebooks have also been consolidated with the main rulebooks so that you only have one rulebook to worry about, and they also added a first teach walkthrough to make playing the game for the first time go a lot faster. For anyone who does already own the game, there will be some new content and some new expansions as well, and they did partner with gamer trays to make storing your game a lot nicer, and there are some small balancing tweaks with some of the factions and some of the cards offered in the game. These are the kinds of changes that I really love to see, just making the game even easier to get to the table, and this is a game that already does have a 7.5, and actually has a 7.9 if I look at the original entry on BGG, which is a really great rating. And if you look into the rules on this one, I think you'll understand why, because this game looks like a ton of fun. This one is an area control game where players are going to be playing with asymmetric factions with their own special powers, their own combat cards, and their own unique units. Players are going to be gaining victory points by controlling different areas on the board, completing different missions, and completing their faction goals. Players do this over a series of rounds where they're going to be choosing an action card from their hand, and that's going to dictate the actions that they have access to over the entirety of that round. And this is where a lot of the elegance of the game really comes into play because all these action cards are actually double-sided, with one side of the card having the exact same set of actions for players to choose from, and then the opposite side being unique from every other card offered in the game. The round starts with each player choosing 2 actions to play from the non-unique side of that card, and players will be resolving their actions in initiative order, which is kept track of on this board here, but there are actions and different abilities that will allow you to manipulate this. Some of the basic actions will allow you to do things like draw and play different event cards, deploy and upgrade your various units, move units around to different areas of the board, or even take a hostile action which allows you to either fight enemies in a location that you're currently located at, and of course getting rid of the enemies there does make trying to control that area a lot easier, or instead you could just try to take control of that area anyway, whether or not there are enemies located at it. But no matter which option you decide to go with, you're going to be playing a combat card from your hand in order to enact those actions. And these use a sort of I split you choose mechanism where each of the cards is going to allow you to perform some sort of ability. Like I said, either trying to annihilate your opponent or just trying to take control of the land they're on. But when you do that, it's going to be giving your opponent some options because you're going to have to hand them the card that you just played. And then they're going to be choosing one of the several options on the lower half of that card. I really love this because not only does this offer a really unique take on combat for an area control game, but it also leans into the elegance of this game by doing so much and providing different options from just a single card. But getting back to the action cards here, keep in mind that I've only just explained the basic side of the card, and now I'll let you know how the unique side of the card works. And this is going to be broken into a few different colors, and these happen in sequential order, with each of those colors being associated with the phase within the round, and the actions in each color indicate the actions that you'll be able to perform in that specific phase. As I said before, this side of the card is unique across all the cards offered in the game, so you can see that there's going to be quite a lot of variety and quite a lot of different strategies that you can take. And what's really neat here is that some of the cards might actually only feature one color on that side of the card, which means that it's only going to be granting you actions for that one specific phase. Of course, this will be a much more powerful action, so it'll be up to you to decide if that's a path that you want to take. And interesting decisions like that, whether they pay off or end up in catastrophe, are what make games like this so much fun. And if you are interested to learn more, I will have it linked in the description below. And of course, you can click to get notified.